Have you ever loved someone so deeply that even years apart couldn't erase the memory of them? My Sunshine isn't just a love story. It's a raw, intense look at how time and distance can tear people apart and then bring them back together, even more broken than before. If you're ready for a journey that'll make you question if love really can survive everything, keep watching. My Sunshine, or You Are My Sunshine as some know it, is a Chinese drama that pulls you into the lives of two people who shared a love so consuming it haunted them even after they lost each other. This isn't your typical romance. It's full of regret, misunderstandings, and the kind of heartache that leaves you breathless. We'll take you through their story, break down what went wrong, and dive into why this love story feels so real, so raw, and so painfully beautiful. Here's the setup. Zhao Mosheng is this bright, optimistic photography student with a smile that lights up the room. She's almost magnetic, drawn to He Yichen, a serious and aloof law student whose cool demeanor hides an intense inner world. When they meet, it's instant chemistry, but in a way that's cautious, even fragile. Mosheng is all in from the start. She's bold, open, and unafraid to show her feelings. Yichen, on the other hand, is careful. He's drawn to her, sure, but he keeps his guard up, knowing just how dangerous it can be to let someone that close. Their love story is full of small moments, quiet glances, late-night conversations, the type of love that grows in layers. But before they even have a chance to fully explore what they have, life interferes in the most brutal way. Misunderstandings, family pressures, and a decision that changes everything. Just like that, Mosheng is gone. She vanishes without a word, leaving Yichen shattered and confused. Fast forward 7 years. Mosheng returns from the US, thinking she's put the past behind her. But as soon as she sees Yichen, she realizes those feelings never truly disappeared. Except now he's colder, more distant, a version of himself hardened by heartbreak. Their reunion is anything but easy, and as the story unfolds, we see two people trying to navigate the pain of what was and what could have been. Now, let's talk about who Mosheng and Yichen really are, because it's their complex, layered personalities that make this story so unforgettable. Zhao Mosheng. She's the kind of person who loves fiercely and doesn't hold back. At first, Mosheng is like sunshine itself, bright and full of life. She sees Yichen's quiet strength and falls for him with everything she has. But as we see her years later, she's changed. She carries a sadness she tries to hide, a sadness that comes from having loved and lost. The guilt, the regret, and the fear of facing Yichen again all weigh on her. Mosheng's journey is one of forgiveness, not just for Yichen, but for herself. He Yichen, he's everything Mosheng isn't. Serious, reserved, and fiercely independent. Yichen doesn't wear his emotions on his sleeve, but his love for Mosheng is all-consuming. When she leaves, he shuts down, burying himself in work, success, and the solitude that becomes his new reality. But when she comes back, that wall he's built around himself starts to crumble. We watch him struggle between his love for Mosheng and the pain of the abandonment he's never truly processed. Yichen's journey is one of vulnerability, of allowing himself to love again despite the scars. Together, they create a love story that's as beautiful as it is tragic. A story of two people changed by time, but connected by a bond that refuses to die. My Sunshine is packed with themes that hit hard. The most powerful one? The cost of silence. So much of their pain comes from words left unsaid, feelings buried out of fear, and misunderstandings that should have been cleared but were left to fester. Watching Yichen and Mosheng grapple with the ghosts of their past, we see how powerful communication is, and what happens when it's absent. Another theme that resonates is second chances, but not the easy kind. It's not just about rekindling a romance. It's about facing the pain of the past, acknowledging your mistakes, and choosing to love despite everything that went wrong. Yichen and Mosheng's story isn't a fairy tale. It's about learning that love doesn't erase pain, but makes you strong enough to carry it. And then there's time, both as a healer and a thief. Time gives Yichen and Mosheng the space to grow and change, but it also steals precious moments they can never get back. The drama poses the question, can love survive time's relentless march forward, or does it become something different entirely? Alright, if you're ready for spoilers, let's dive into the moments that define My Sunshine. We discover that Mosheng didn't leave Yichen out of choice. She was pressured by Yichen's family, manipulated into thinking she wasn't good enough for him, and burdened by her own insecurities. Rather than fight, she chose to run. And that decision haunts her. For Yichen, her disappearance left him shattered. He had loved her with everything he had, and her departure turned him into someone cold and closed off. But the powerful thing is that he never moved on. Not truly. When Mosheng comes back, He tries to ignore her, to push her away, but he can't. All that pain resurfaces, raw and unhealed. The scene where they confront each other is gut-wrenching. Yichen finally lets down his guard and tells her just how much she hurt him. He's angry, he's vulnerable, and he's scared. It's rare to see this side of him. And when he finally admits he's still in love with her, it's both heartbreaking and cathartic. One of the most powerful moments comes when Yichen acknowledges that while he still loves her, he's afraid to open himself up again. This drama doesn't sugarcoat the aftermath of heartbreak. It shows the raw, painful process of trying to rebuild a love that's been shattered, one piece at a time. Let's talk about the ending, because it's bittersweet in the best way. In the final episodes, we see Yichen and Mosheng choose to face their past instead of running from it. They acknowledge that their love isn't perfect, that it's been scarred by years of misunderstandings and regret, and yet they decide it's worth fighting for. The ending is realistic, not fairy tale perfect. They don't just magically forget the pain, but they accept it as part of their story. Mosheng and Yichen's love isn't about erasing the past. It's about carrying it forward side by side, knowing that while it may not heal completely, it's something they're willing to live with. This ending reminds us that love doesn't erase wounds. It teaches you how to bear them. So, who should watch My Sunshine? If you love romance stories that aren't afraid to get messy, that show the raw side of love, the heartbreak, the regrets, the what-ifs, this is for you. It's not the kind of drama you watch for lighthearted fun. This is for people who want to feel, who want to connect to something deep, who understand that love isn't always perfect or kind. For fans of dramas like Autumn's Concerto or Someday or One Day, or anyone who loves a good cry and an emotionally charged storyline, My Sunshine will hit you right where it hurts, and it's worth every tear. If you're ready for more breakdowns of the dramas that make us feel, hit subscribe and check out the next video.